All right, guys, online. Are you with me? Are we ready to go? Thank you. Sorry, guys, a bit slow. Guys, if you can sit close to me, because I want to sit down. I mean, I'm gonna the ones that are here present. If you can just come around here, because I'm gonna be sitting down, and so I can feel you closer. That would be cool. Wait, let me just make this better quickly. What's up with this? Display capture, video capture device. So come on. Ладно, без камеры, все. Who cares? Who cares about me? Okay, so look, let's start by this. Let's just start 1 second by I haven't heard this before, so maybe this will not be a cool thing. Maybe it will be a cool thing. But I have here the files that Alexandra did, and I have here the files that Murat did for the last homework that I asked about splitting the whole low end and the mid range, and I want to see blindly, just like what is the low end for you and what is the low end for Sasha, just to see who is right and who is wrong, basically. So this is Sasha's low end, and this is Murat's low end. And we're kind of like going to discuss like wait, so this is your mid low end and this is your low end. Что значит через минус? Minus low end. I see. Yeah, I guess that's what she did as well. Minus high range is low end. Да? Наоборот? Нет? Да, if I want low end, I should hear minus high range? No.
Maybe I did something wrong.
Don't care. We will see it. Here, there. Что случилось? Я понимаю, это loopback. Проблема. Что мы слушаем здесь странновато. Как будто есть два. Now online guys don't hear it. It's not here. Just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Sorry, just a second. Just trying to figure out what the hell is going on and why I'm getting double monitoring there. No, but I see your point, but look, like, these are the inputs of the universal audio card. No, these are the inputs, like, hey, you see, like, I don't know what's going on in 3.4, that's some mystery to me, but maybe that's related. Let me see it here. I think it's connected to this thing, like, очень странно. Сейчас. Это необычно. And my playback engine is going to the Thunderbolt. It should go. Господи. Ты знаешь, что может быть. Sorry guys there for this glitch. Default. Wait. Boss. Default. Let's see if this fixes it. Yeah, but now online guys don't hear Pro Tools. Maybe this way. Yeah, that's it. Okay, online guys, you hear Pro Tools, da?
Very badly.
Now, can you check? Look. Wait. Through the microphone. Yeah. It's my fault. I see why. Sorry, friends. Sorry. Disappointing. Here. Zoom audio device. Now, hey. Now you hear me better, maybe, and now you hear Pro Tools for sure. Just. Yep. Okay. Do you hear Pro Tools, guys? I guess that it's better if you go to YouTube, actually, like, to be honest. Let me send this link there in the Google Meet stuff. And let's go to YouTube. If you want, like, I think it's gonna be better for you to hear it. So I'm gonna put it here, in case you want. So. Okay, send and go. If you wanna go to YouTube, just go to YouTube and may hit the like button, subscribe. So let's go. All right, my goal was to compare kind of like the low ends of you and to see what if there are differences on it, but I see that there is some like maybe misunderstandings here on this. Let's see. I saw low end here of Alexandra. Wait, and it's kind of like the opposite. Alexandra, you're there? Yeah. The file that says low end is the file that has only low end, or you don't remember?
Maybe.
Я понял. Сейчас. Сейчас посмотрим наши visualizers. Да, это минус low end. Давай посмотрим другой, который написано high range. Наверное, это тот, который нам покажет. Да, это low end. Да, я могу это смотреть в волна. Сейчас duplicate. И okay, and let's just get here. I have high end, like that, and this one is low end. That's the low end of Sasha. That's the low end of Sasha, and that's the low end of no. Yeah, but I wanted you to isolate, like, let's look at the instructions. Like, the instructions said, I wanted you to isolate what you think is the low end. Yeah, like, I mean, wait. Let me see. If we understood this task well, or if I wrote it, if nobody understood it, it means that I wrote it wrong. Давай, let's get Lisa's too. Здравствуйте, технического слуха. So it was this isolation of frequencies. You wrote me something here. Да, you can all do it again. Like, it's okay. You can all do it again. So. Круто. So here, let's get Lisa too. So I'm gonna download. This one is no. These are all like just the isolation of the frequencies. Да. Вот это. This is what you called. Конечно. 250, 500. Okay. So maybe it's these files don't make a sense to compare them, guys. Maybe these files make no sense to compare them, or what? Like, is this your low end, Murat, or? Well, okay. It's mid and low. I see. Do you have something that shows your low end, or there in those files? Gotcha. Okay, let's see another case. There is Timofey too. Let's see if the Timofey one helps us here. Wait, so Timofey. Ah? No. I'm downloading your file, Bratan. I'm downloading some file of yours.
Okay.
That shows.
Maybe there in wrong order or something.
Yeah, no. I see something that says low end here, so I'm guessing that that's the one that isolates the low end. Let's see the low end of Timofey. No, that looks like the same. Like, no, yeah. So look, like, let's look at the, like, you see, like everything under 200. But Sasha's low end, it's like maybe she was doing something different. I don't know. I guess. I guess that the way I would see it, it's like kind of like Sasha was cutting from kind of 300, something like that. A Timofey from 200. You were 150. Okay, I see. And let's see the high end here. Let's see the high end, the high range. This? It's my band. It's a girl. Sorry. It's a girl. It's a singer. Yeah. It's just Vika. Yeah. Да, это что она хотела. Да, she's amazing. Yeah. So let's see then the high range here of Timofey. Let's see if we can see something here. Anyways, this one. Oh, Timofey did a great job here. Wait. Молодец, Timofey. So his Kruto. His high end starts at 5K. No, like kind of like 2K, something like that. Yeah. But I guess that it's not comparable. This just didn't work. Yeah. And I guess that Alexandra's, like, I think it seems like you guys use shelves or something. That she used shelves. Like, well, okay. Let me go to my presentation for a couple of minutes because I wanted this exercise to be more clear. So, как будто да, или я неправильно. Тимофей все правильно сделал. Тимофей все отлично сделал. Короче, Тимофей есть 100 баллов, и все есть 0. Вот это как нужно. Поздравляю, Тимофей. Ну, короче, смотри, друзья, давай. We wanted to, we're going to do just like 15 minutes or some like 10 minutes of some content that I want to start. We had a similar lecture in Foundation, so I'm happy that it's such a short thing and that it's not such a long thing, so it's not boring, okay? Because we discussed this in Foundation, but I wanted to refresh something and I wanted to use it on the lecture of the quiz on purpose. So we wanted to evaluate. Great, we did this. We identified the concept of onomatopoeia. You remember this? We discussed it or we didn't? Maybe we did, maybe we don't. In Russian there is this word, onomatopoeia, или нет? It's like a Spanish word. How do you say in Russian, for example, the word which is like paf, pu, pow, wham? You know, there's a word to describe words that describe sounds. Я не знаю. Тук-тук or ding-dong. Ага.
Это звукоподражание.
Звукоподражение. Вот это да. Ономатопея по-испански, это по-испански и по-английски тоже. Ономатопея. Да, я думал, что да, есть такая слово по-русски, да. So I want to start a bad habit, so then we forget it later, basically. So, I mean, because I wanted to show you, like, look, the low end of that was my point, but it didn't work. The low point was like, hey, look, everybody's low end is different. But, I mean, we failed with this demonstration. And so then I wanted to go, like, how can we fix this problem? So it's like, okay, we can fix this problem by start using, как, Alexandra, еще раз? So we can start using звукоподражение just to start orienting ourselves in the spectrum. Onomatopoeia. No, what? Учите русский, пожалуйста. So у вас есть русский язык, Лекси. Да. Короче, so I wanted to start a bad habit so we can forget it later. So start using onomatopoeias a bit, like just to start having like some consensus. And I wanted us to discuss the audio spectrum so we can see the characteristics of it. And I wanted to experiment some things with an equalizer, but of course we will not get so far away. This is really like the kind of like spectrum that I work with, for me. Like I separated more like low, mid, bass. Like I mean, this would be like mid low, right? But no, well, I mean, no, kind of low bass, mid bass, upper bass, lower mid range, middle mid range, upper mid range, lower treble, middle treble, upper treble, top octave. Like this is a good way to see it. You see, like the low end or the bass kind of like it's in between 220, mid range kind of in between 1,000 and 200 and something, and the high end kind of in between 10k and 1k. That's interesting, the treble, and the very top like after 10k. So now onomatopoeia is the process of creating a word that phonetically imitates a sound, like we discussed it, something like meow or roar or chirp. So by the way, I found a website which is like a onomatopoeia dictionary. So you can just, for example, there are really funny ones which are like, I don't know, whatever, so that's like Fox vocalization or exclamation of dismay. This is kind of like a joke. I just put it here as a joke, but everything in the internet exists, so we can see like barf, vomiting, or whatever, etc. You get the point. So, oh, so okay, great. So I was just joking with that. There is this website, and of course, these diagrams are super useful for us. Like, I really used them for a while, like very much, and I invite you to use them. And there's gonna be the ultimate one that I find the most useful one that I have so far, and I will give it to you. So, do you understand? I see you with the interested looking at this. You understand what we're looking at? Do you? Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Do you understand what you're looking at there? Yeah, great. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, and we discussed this in foundation, so I'm happy that we're just gonna see it around. But I mean, the point is that any operation that we perform with an EQ outside of these ranges will be kind of useless. But of course, this is not final. I mean, like an alto sax can also have stuff under 400. Like I mean, but this is just to focus. This is the diagram I like the most, and I really recommend you to check it out. And you see, and it has some really good onomatopoeias here. That's why I started using that by describing that. So you see, like there is a chest and the thumb, and here I'm kind of like making a description of it. So this lecture, really, the main thing of this moment is just to show you these slides, so you can go later back and extract all this info for you, because it will help you to orient yourself to start learning the spectrum. Because what we're gonna start doing now is like that thing that you did in the quiz, like of like listening, like this is 200 hertz. Like now we're gonna spend like some good 2 months just like practicing stuff like that, like very intensely. And actually, the next quiz is gonna be only like just sounds, like, and then you will have to choose like this is that, this is that, this is that frequency. But it would be like after the Novi God, like in February. So you will have to practice a lot. And I will introduce you next week. I will introduce you to this guy, Mike Senior. Sorry, Mike Senior is another book that I'm doing. This guy. I just forgot temporarily the name of our author that we're following. I don't care right now. I'm not gonna remember. He made a really cool Mike Judge. He made a really cool website that it's like to you can upload like an audio file, and then it would randomly do something to it, and then it tells you like, and also it can like remove frequencies, boost frequencies, things like that. And also in the future, we're gonna do this with compression too. That's gonna be really interesting. Like you will be able to hear something and say that thing has 4 decibels of compression applied to it. Like, I mean, I'm not even in that level, but I will show you how to practice, so I can also practice and learn with you. But I wanted to start here, which is like, hey guys, let's talk a little bit about the spectrum. We discussed this in foundation, but why not discuss it one more time, before we go to the next module. So in here, like, I mean, you are going to have some instruments, right? Located something like, I don't know, in some order of hierarchy according to this person, and some frequency range, from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And you will have like a location here of where in the onomatopoeia world these frequencies fall. So we have the chest and thumb, which is things that hit in your head in your chest, like an air.
the rumble, the low frequency resonance, the bottom when humans start to understand what is there. So humans start to understand things around 60 hertz, something like that. The ground, so kind of like background noise, boom, excessive bass response. Bro, I mean, I'm not gonna read it all because we're gonna see it in a minute. And here is like another way of seeing it, a little bit more like with hertz, you know, it's like the rumble is around 31, the boom, the thump, and the warmth is about 125, the fullness is around 250, honk around 500. The idea, the goal is that we don't use these words and that we just forget about them later. And we will use another method, but this is a good way to start. We will definitely use another method, but this is a good place to start. So the next question that was coming in our schedule, you know, is kind of like how to become good at equalizing, kind of. And so, well, of course, you have to do some ear training, and you need to know what the frequencies you're working with are. So we need to learn the spectrum first, like, right? You need to know which frequencies you need to isolate, and you need to know what you want to achieve, and you need to have some good reference. So if you're gonna do this work of like orienting yourself with an equalizer and really learn how to use it, because that's the whole point. It's like you guys, when everybody comes to work with when I have students in the studio and we are recording something and somebody sees me like making an EQ move, or when I mix, it's kind of like, okay, but why? Like, why did you do that move? Like, why that sound and not that sound? Like, why did you remove that? And it's kind of like asking a chess player, you know, it's like, why did you move first the horse, or what did you move first the tower, you know? Like, and the chess player will tell you, well, because I know what my opponent is gonna do in 10 moves. So who is my opponent? A bad spectral balance. And what the spectral balance is gonna do in the next 10 moves? Fuck me up. You know, that's what the spectral balance is gonna do in the next 10 moves. So, I mean, I'm joking there, but what you need to, you learn this like, kind of like, you will learn this skill of like, kind of like you're listening to something and isolating a frequency in your mind, just like you do with an EQ. Like you're listening to something and you hear like, ooh, and you're like, fuck, that's gonna become a problem later. And why do you know that? Because you kind of have an imagination of what are the processes that you're gonna apply to that signal, and then you know, like, if I put a distortion there, that frequency is gonna explode. And you know that you're going to put a distortion there because maybe you needed a snare that is quite aggressive or something like that, and you know that you're going to put a distortion there. And so you kind of learn to, it's really crazy, man. If you think about it, like you kind of run the process of the plugin in your head, and then you can foresee what the effect is going to be, and then you kind of like isolate the frequency and then decide like when I put the next plugin is going to do that, which is pretty remarkable. I mean, I don't know why people are not excited about life more. When I think about that, it's like, what the hell is that? Like, how can you do this? Like, if you would, I was telling to Anya the other day this thing about the human body. I was telling her, if you would find a human body and you're not a human body, you would just be shocked about what you just found. You know, you understand what I mean? And you have one. It's really amazing. It's really crazy. I mean, how can you do this? Whatever. I don't stop getting excited about this, but I guess that's my fishka. So in order for you to develop that, like, I mean, for me, all of that is now like riding a bicycle kind of thing. It's like I don't think about which frequencies I'm going to work with. You just know. And in order to get good to that, you have to practice. And I'm kind of putting here like a list of steps that I think that somebody who wants to get good at this should follow. But of course, they're not like final. I don't know how to explain this better. So the only way is just to practice. So and by the way, I'm warning you. Today we're seeing like the introduction to this, and then we will move out to a really formal method that was developed by the author of the book that we're following, which is more technical than what I'm saying today. But this is just like a first mouth opener. So, okay, the first thing you need to know is to figure out which frequencies are you going to remove. And it's kind of like saying like, to fix a car, the first you need to do is to fix the car. And it's like, okay, thanks. Like, I mean, how can you know how to remove, which frequency you need to remove? That's a practice that we're going to do. So you need to study the instruments, and you need to kind of study the spectrum. And also you need to experience so many plugins and so many things, like that you run so many processes and so many things, that you kind of become good at predicting all of this. So also, the other thing that you need to start doing is like kind of like establish some routines. Like, for example, it's very obvious and famous that I will finish like in 7 minutes. By the way, I just have to rest in between 2 lectures. So just so you know, I will let you go soon. You need to establish some routines. So you know that there are going to be conflicts between some things that are always conflicting. You know, like kick and bass are always conflicting. Guitars and bass can have a region that overlaps. You know, Vox and guitars can have regions that overlap. Vox and synths that have regions can have regions that overlap. Overhead and synths, horns and vocals, things like that. So I mean, what's up? Something cool? No, something funny? Okay. So no, I just saw you like a heated face, and I was like. So, anyways, one of the things that I'm telling you with this first moment is like, okay, you study the instruments, and you also need to establish some routines. So this is what I mean about having like being a couple of games a step ahead of the game. So, for example, one of the things I do when I'm equalizing is like I know that when I add the when I add the bass here, is going to conflict with this part of the guitars. So do I really need to leave this part of the guitars? Because when I add the bass, it's going to make a conflict, because everything is a competition of, this is really interesting, it's a competition of interest. Like, all the frequencies are competing for the interest of the listener. It's like, hey, I'm 100 hertz, I'm here. Hey, I'm 200 hertz, I'm here. And when you have bass and guitars at the same time, the 200 hertz of the bass and 200 hertz of the guitar are going to be asking to the listener to pay attention to them. And if you know the spectrum and you know the instruments, so you know, like, look, the most important part of the guitar, it's kind of like around. If you see it here, I'm just a bit. The most important part of the guitar is like definitely above 100 hertz. So, but the bass has more information below 100 hertz. So maybe it's a good idea just to remove parts of the guitar that are under 100 hertz, even before you even hear anything. Like, you kind of know that this conflict is going to happen. So why let it happen? You don't need to let it happen. So, so one of the things that you can think about is to clean up the mods. So whatever is happening between 20 hertz and 60 hertz. I'm gonna just like, because we all have to go and you guys have another lecture. I have another lecture after. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna kind of do a very quick summary of what we're gonna see next week. Okay? So we see it with attention. So we're going to discuss like the mod, we're going to discuss like each one of the ranges, you know, like, and see what does it means to work in that range. That's kind of what I mean. So this is the boxiness, you know, like where the boxiness falls, where the punch and the bottom falls, where the rumble and the chest falls. Like, what does it mean to do too much or too little of those ranges? So what is like around the clarity and syllables things, and what's happening in the air. And you see, like, what does it mean to be body? That's what we're going to discuss next week. What does it mean to be boomy? What does it mean to be thin? What does it mean to be teeny? What does it mean to be boxy, etc.? We will describe it. And after that, once you like kind of like know your way around the spectrum and also know your way around some classic conflicts that are always happening, then you can then start thinking about which frequencies you can add. And so you go back to point one. I mean, to know which frequencies you have to add, you need to study the instruments, basically. So that's kind of like a loop in which you're going to be always at. You know, I removed something, what can I add now? I removed something, what can I add now? I removed something, what can I add now? You have to develop your taste, of course, when you're doing this, and you define goals in pre-production, because this is going to determine what things you need to add. Because, I mean, it's like how the snare should sound. We decided that in pre-production, like something like that. And you need to be able to compare reference and use science to compensate for your bad monitoring, because you have it, and use cheat codes. So that's what we're going to be looking from now onwards. You know, it's kind of like, and I'm really happy that we have a course which is the boring course, and we have a course which is the fun course. The boring course is the развитие технического слуха. The fun course is the mixing course that starts in next year, in February. For everyone. Yeah, it's mandatory. So we're going to be doing, like, I mean, from here until the mixing course starts, we're going to be doing some basic technical training. When the mixing course starts, we will be doing all the fun part of mixing in the mixing course and all the boring part of mixing in the развитие технического слуха course. So they're going to be connected, both of them. For now on, we're building up towards, like, teaching you how to mix. That's kind of all what we're doing. And when we get to teaching you how to mix is when we're going to be discussing, like, I mean, the special techniques, mixing some songs, combining some stuff. And in here we will be EQing. So How to learn how to feel what's wrong. Work while everybody's resting. Know the physics of sound. Listen through high fidelity gear. For example, something that you must do is to go to DTH, like maybe go get all of you together and choose like, okay, let's use Lisa's hours. Let's use Lisa's hours and go for 2 hours to DTH, or let's share like, let's share Lisa and Murat's hours. So each one of you book 1 hour. And you go to DTH and just listen to stuff there. Just sit down there and listen to stuff. Like you have a great sound card and a great speakers now that are part of your life. So use them. So listen to reference, make cuts in your stereo mixes and explore that area. That's a really important thing to do, like to learn. It's like you're listening to a mix that you made, just remove the high end and the low end and just listen to it. Like, oh, look how the mid-range sounds. And watch pros EQing. Like that's the part where my boring YouTube channel becomes useful to you. Because I mean, it's very rare that you can see a person EQing like for an hour. I mean, that you can actually see the full process. Usually they show you like before and after. And so the way to see my YouTube channel is just to skip. Like you need to just open a video and just skip like long until you see like, oh look, he's using the fab filter. Let me see what the hell he's doing there. And then check it out. Because the reason for that channel to exist is because when I was living in Budapest, I was sitting and in Caracas too. I was sitting a lot in the back of recording studios and just reading a magazine or something while the engineer was doing something. And then I would stand up to pay attention, and I was there for 8 hours or something. And then I would stand up to pay attention. Ah, look, he's doing something that interests me. And that's what you can do to help you to learn how to EQ. And well, know your ears, of course, and look at spectrum analyzers and think about it from the Fletcher and Monson curves. So yeah, that's kind of it for today. Thank you very much. That was really cool to have you here and to do the quiz with you. And let's continue next week. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. By the way,